The average American woman buys 3 handbags every year, costing an average $42, although 1 in 10 of us says we would pay $150 or more just for one of these. A glorified pocket that we call a purse, or a handbag, or a satchel, or a clutch. Not a pocketbook though. No one says pocketbook, right? Why am I asking you? American women didn't begin carrying handbags around en masse until the 1940s and 50s. However, we did tote around purse-like garments for a long time prior to that. In the 15th century, a common gift for a groom to give to his new bride would have been, hey, a get-to-know-you dinner, because they probably wouldn't have met before. And also a purse. If you think about the pre-industrial days of the domestic economies, women were working a lot in the home, and not just in the sense of child rearing and keeping the house clean. They pretty much produced all of the things their household needed for day-to-day living. There are all sorts of little tools that would go along with that, and what is handier for carrying around tools than, well, a tool belt, a pocket. That's what I'm going for. So prior to the 18th century, a lot of women would carry around detachable pockets actually in their petticoats that they could access perhaps through a slit in their skirts. In the 18th century, we have fashion shifting to the neoclassical style, where the silhouette becomes a lot more slender, thus not allowing as much room for petticoats and pockets. You have the rise of what would eventually become the modern day purse, which the British called a reticule. With the more petite size of those reticules, or indispensables as they were sometimes called, you also start to see the differentiation of social status based on the size of your purse. Even back at this time in the 18th century, you still have a lot of working women tending to carry larger external pockets, these pre-messenger bags almost, filled with all the tools that they would need for their work outside the home. If you were a wealthy woman, obviously you would not be working outside the home and wouldn't need to carry around all sorts of things, so you would simply have a more petite reticule. Once we're into the early 20th century, the whole pocket thing had pretty much fallen out of fashion, and it becomes more common for women to at least carry around a shopping bag. Remember the importance of the Industrial Revolution in this. Once we are fully industrialized, the production is moving outside of the home, so women are leaving more often in fulfilling their domestic duties, doing the shopping and whatnot. Around this time, you also see a little bit more fashion being infused into the whole handbag thing, with women wearing what were called Dorothy bags, which were drawstring sacks that they might match to their outfits. How adorable. It really wasn't until the 1940s and 50s that women began carrying purses around en masse, partially due to the rise of fashion houses, but also due to the rise of women working outside the home. Once we started leaving the house, there was a need for us to, well, carry things with us on those journeys out. And you also have, too, the rise of women wearing cosmetics, the whole beauty thing. In these early days of handbag fashion, it was still the smaller the size that signaled the higher the social status. One socialite explained in the 1950s, if, darling, if your purse is too small to fit your cigarettes, well, that's totally fine, because you should be with a man who will provide you with such cigarettes. What about men? Why aren't they also carrying around these outside pockets which would eventually become purses? If you look at the evolution of men's fashion, it has typically evolved with pockets in mind. Guys have so many different pockets to choose from. They have pockets inside of their pockets in jeans. They have back pockets, front pockets. They even have cargo pockets sometimes, vest pockets, shirt pockets, coat pockets. I mean, guys have pockets for days. Square footage wise, men probably have more storage space simply on an everyday outfit than women have in a Birkin bag. Also, when it comes to carrying things with you on the way to work, well, men do have purses, and they're called briefcases. Let's not forget too that the beauty standards applied to men don't typically necessitate them wanting to carry around things like lipsticks, blushes, mascaras, bobby pins, hairbrushes, and also, yeah, let's address periods. Why would men carry around purses if they're just surrounded by women with massive purses? If they ever need band-aids, breath mints, pens, you name it, just find a woman with a purse.